Have you ever watched a marriage proposal and thought, yeah, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Let's take a look at some of these horrible marriage proposals.
10 years. Yeah, we've been together for 10 years, and I just proposed to her, and she just sitting here and just looking at the ring. You just sitting here looking at it.
In the car, you ain't put no thought into it. You ain't taking me out to dinner or nothing. No type of little setup, bro.
Why do it? But
You're joking.
No, I'm not.
Don't. I'm sorry. Don't do this right now.
What do you mean? Don't do. I'm trying to marry you now.
You're not being for real right now.
If I had to see it, you had to see it. Welcome to Idea to Income, where I pick unusual and unique businesses led by mostly women that I do research on and give you ideas about how you could possibly start a business with your own unusual and unique idea. Today's business is the Heart Bandits. So let's take a look at the couple that didn't allow a lackluster proposal to end the rest of their life. The Heart Bandits were founded in 2010 by Michelle and Marvin Velasquez. The married couple met through work. Michelle, an Air Force veteran with event planning underneath her belt. Well, that was her background. Marvin, an MIT educated engineer. Different strengths, which she brought the creativity and he brought the logistics. The Heart Bandits is a proposal planning company that creates and coordinates personalized marriage proposals. But the inspiration came from their own proposal, where Michelle wasn't exactly blown away by Marvin's proposal. She was happy to become a wife, but afterwards she had to have the conversation saying, look, I love you. But child, that proposal, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. And she probably didn't say it like that, but I'm putting more emphasis on it. Marvin struggled to create the proposal. He couldn't find helpful resources. And at that time, it wasn't a lot of resources to help in that area. Proposals can be a lot, very emotional and high pressure. So I imagine without him having the resources, he really didn't know what to do. This is when Michelle recognized an opportunity. We know that wedding planners help with weddings. But who is the person that helps with proposal ideas? That's when the Heart Bandits was launched months later. Now, Michelle, she didn't invent romance, but she saw an opportunity, an idea, where people had trouble creating and executing the most wonderful moment in a lot of people's lives. And she acted on that idea. So that explains where the idea came from. But it doesn't give you the breakdown of how the idea became income. Let's go ahead and travel over to my handy dandy whiteboard and I'll break this down for you. Let's kind of break this down in a way that we understand how this idea became a business. So the problem The problem was there was no resources for people to go to as far as like a proposal idea. There is no creative idea. So maybe these people don't have the creativity to think of what a great proposal looks like in their eyes. This is a big moment. A high pressure moment is a big moment. This moment is the driver for basically the rest of the wedding. Like, this needs to damn near be perfect in their eyes. Fear of getting it wrong. This is what happened to Michelle. Michelle got a proposal that was just not what she wanted. So Marvin had the fear that he was going to get it wrong, but again, there was no resources to help him out to plan this beautiful proposal. Planning feels overwhelming. Again, if you are a planner, then this would be your lane. But for most people, planning can feel overwhelming, especially for an event like this. So now let's go ahead and talk about the solution. The solution. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay. All right. Sorry. So let's go. Sorry. Personalized concept is the client comes to them with the story of their relationship and how they would like to see the proposal. And the Heart Bandits come up with a concept based off just their own personal story. Professional planning. The client doesn't have to worry about anything. All they got to do, again, is come to the bandits with the story, and the bandits will go ahead and plan this. And they don't have to, like I said, they don't have to worry about nothing. This is already planned. Vendor coordination. Because the bandits, I hate to call them the bandits, because the Heart Bandits, because the Heart Bandits have cultivated relationship with vendors, then people do not have to go out and try to find vendors, or places and people that they need to make this engagement happen, or I'm sorry, this proposal happen. The business owner, in this case, the Heart Bandits, have already cultivated those relationships. So that's another thing you don't even have to worry about as a client. And lastly, stress-free execution. This right here, I believe, would be the top one because, again, you have came to them for a service, or if this is you, people have come to you for a service and they are entrusting this experience to you. So that relieves a lot of stress. Now, will they still stress a bit about, will this go off without a hitch, or will this work? Of course. But as far as the initial stress of putting all this together, they don't have to worry about it. That's your job. Services. Personalized ideas would be the Heart Bandits coming up, or you. We're going to put you as the business owner. Personalized ideas is, again, listening to the client, asking them what is their story, what is their love story, and coming up with ideas based off of that, and then sharing those ideas with the client to come up with a beautiful proposal experience. Pre-designed packages. Because you've been in business so long, you have already done so many marriage proposals that you can just think off the top of your head, because I heard the client say this, I think this would be a great package for you. or based off your budget, this what we offer as far as the beachfront instead of the city rooftop, maybe the boat instead of a church or something. I'm just giving things out there. But having pre-designed packages allows your client to pick from what you've already have successfully completed as far as previous clients and previous packages that you've done for marriage proposals, date ideas, and things of that nature. The full custom planning. So this is from point A to point Z. You've decided that you want some type of input into it, but they take that minimum input that you've provided and created a custom plan for your proposal that nobody else has used. You've created that custom proposal for that client. So they didn't pick from a package. And then the personalized ideas kind of goes hand in hand, but it is custom planning because they are doing everything from A through Z. You just said, hey, we want a, we like flowers, we like balloons. Now build off of that. I hope that's not the case because that would be a lot to do, but some people are just not that creative, and that's where you come in. Custom date planning. So maybe this is an anniversary, and now you are the person that they are coming to plan their 25th anniversary, their first anniversary. I'm sorry, their first date even. There are some people that are, they got it, and they want to plan a beautiful first date. So custom date planning is also an option when it comes to different services you can offer. So just remember that people have different budgets, different needs, and this is where all of this comes into play. So you don't have to necessarily be a marriage proposal person. You can solely just work on date planning. If this was your business, you would probably want to have a relationship questionnaire. That could be anything as far as like what's their favorite color, what's the couple's favorite color, what is, the day that they met, what is one of their fondest memories, something like that. Next, you want to learn the couple's story. So let them tell you the story about how they met to where they are now, how they got to where they are now. Create proposal concepts. So from these two, you have gained knowledge into what it is that they're possibly looking for. From the questionnaire, from the story, you can put together a concept to present to them of what, or present to him or her what the proposal could possibly look like. The customer will choose your idea. If they have input, if it's something they don't like, but this is the part where the customer is going to choose the idea that you came up with from the questionnaire and learning the story. Coordinate venue and vendor. So based on the information they gave you, and I keep saying they, but I mean he or she gave you, that is where you can go to certain vendors or certain venues. If it was something like they met on a boat, maybe he or she wants the proposal to be on a boat. You have that relationship already built with a boating company. They want a pianist. You already have a pianist because you've used them before for previous proposals. Now you want to set up and execute. Basically says what it is. Based off of all this information, now you are ready to put this proposal together and to make it the best, one of the best days of their life. Remember, you are selling creativity, organization, and peace of mind to this client based off of the process. Okay, so let's talk about scale. Now, I have to look at my tablet because I do want to make sure my numbers are correct. So, according to CNBC, Michelle and Marvin say they now plan approximately 500 proposals yearly, have worked with an estimated of 9,000 couples. They plan worldwide. So this is, when we look at this is a business that has been in business or operating for the last 15 to 16 years. So that is why we have these large numbers. We didn't come out day one with 500. Okay, we're not doing that. And now, again, according to CNBC, they are reportedly a 7-figure annual company. So we're in the millions with this. When we talk about revenue, we have to look at this number, this 7-figure annually. This is not just take-home money. If you thought it was, I do understand some of us don't understand numbers in business, but it's still a good number. But what comes out of this number are venues, vendors, travel, and material cost. If you have a business, if this was your business, and you're making 7 figures, again, that is amazing. Kudos to you. But also remember that you have expenses. You have things to come out of this 7-figure. We live in an economy where people are strapped for money. But what some of us don't realize is that there are people that still have money. Like they're good. So you probably ask yourself, what made people, so many people, willing to pay for something that you or me would probably plan ourselves? So real quickly, let's talk about why this business works. The emotional purchase. I feel as if I had the money to hire you, that it takes a lot off of me and it makes me feel good, the emotion, that I have help or that I've hired somebody to take this big experience and task on for me. High stakes pressure. It will be a lot of pressure on me as a client of yours to feel like I have to put all of this together and it has to be perfect. So because you as a business can do this, that's pressure off of me. Personalized experience. I've told you my story. You know about me and my mate, and now you can create this wonderful proposal for me or for him, whoever proposed me. No, because I ain't proposed. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay. Saves time and stress. So because you have this business, you are saving me time and the stress. I can be doing something else. Now I don't have to worry about this. So now my stress levels are down. My cortisol is down. All the things are down because you have taken this task off of my plate. Multiple service levels. So if I was doing it now, I probably wouldn't have much money to put into this. So, but they have multiple levels so they can meet different budgets. So it's not like we're going to initially turn you away, or you're not going to initially turn the person away, but you have different levels that one can meet, or different packages that they can create. And lastly, the vendor network helps them scale. Because they've created, or because you've created this relationship with the business owner, with the vendor, that vendor is going to come to you and be like, hey, I know somebody that needs your services. Or that venue is going to be like, hey, I know somebody right now that could use your services. Let me go ahead and pass your information on. Now you've made more money, as opposed to somebody coming to you from Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. You've made money from the connections that you have with the vendor and venues. You, as a business owner, found a high emotional problem that you were able to solve, and you took that stress off of that person. That is what you did. So when we talk about skills and what we have as a skill, that's one of your skills, is that you've taken the stress off this high emotional situation, and this is your business. You are creating wonderful memories for your clients. And remember, you don't have to own the venues. You don't have to, own the balloons, the rose petals, the hotels, the boats. You have those connections already. So, you keeping your overhead low. It's not like you have to have a building or office unless you want to. But you can start this from the comfort of your own home. So now let's go back to where we started, or let's go back to reality for a minute and talk about realistic expectations of the business. So this is where you come in with your skills. The business required everyday skills that we use. Some skills we don't even think about using. It just comes easy to us. But I'll go over a few so that you know what it is that this couple has that you also have within you. Starting with creativity. They're able to think about a vision of what a proposal could look like. Strong organization. They're able to put things together in the way that it needs to be. Vendor relationships. They are able to go out to different businesses and create relationships with businesses. And I say that over again. They are able to create relationship with businesses so that they can have a continued work relationship with one another, and everybody wins because everybody's getting paid. Calm under pressure. Because this is their business, this is their business model, they know how to treat it in a way where the average person would probably get overwhelmed with so much stuff that they have to plan, that this is their business, that they know how to work around all of that chaos. Contracts and deposits, the fun stuff. They have drawn up contracts, and on those contracts, you're getting your money to start your business. And that goes, again, for any business. Backup plans. Again, this business has been in business successfully for a very long time. And so they have probably ran into situations where there was an issue at the proposal or before the proposal, or a vendor called out, or a violinist couldn't make it last minute. So they've created backup plans just in case those things happen. This is a big one. Excellent communication. I understand that a lot of us hold ourselves back because we feel that we don't have the best communication, especially the ones that want to start a business or want to continue their education or want to climb the corporate ladder. But that is a skill that can be strengthened. It doesn't stop with where you feel as though that's a weakness. This is a skill that can be strengthened. And stay tuned to this channel because I have some ideas for us to get our communication skills where they need to be. Lastly, reputation and customer trust. They have built this business on the foundation of keeping a good, solid reputation, to where when they are speaking to new clients about their service, they are very confident that they can gain the trust of new clients, and that previous clients can refer them to new clients because of the trust that they've built, the bonds that they've built with their clients. Now, everything is not candy and rainbows. There are some possible problems. Let's start with the weather. That's where that plan B or backup plan comes in, and it's probably something that is discussed in the contract. You know, if it is to rain on this day, do we want to use a certain venue? If so, we need to talk to the venue to let them know the plan. So you do have to take things in consideration. And with this particular business, weather is one of them. Late customers. Late customers. And when I see late customers, or when I saw possible problems of late customers, I thought maybe the customers were late in paying. Maybe that there was a deadline for them to pay, because when you put down a deposit, that gives them the money to pay the vendors, the flowers, to get everything that they need. So if you're late paying that, and this was supposed to be scheduled, then that pushes everything back. Or a late customer client could be just late to their proposal. They may have a venue, or they may have reserved a spot somewhere, beach, boat, helicopter, and the customer is late. So that puts them in a tight space because this time was scheduled. So now, is it the customer misses this time, or is this a way we can make up for it on another day? Vendor cancellations. I've heard horror stories about a vendor canceling at last minute, whether it was for flowers, balloons, arches, clowns, Chuck E. Cheese, whoever. They canceled. They canceled for whatever the reason. Again, that's where those backup plans come in. Venue restrictions. Venue restrictions. You think, okay, what would be a restriction that a vendor might have in place? Well, one could be that they would not want confetti on the floor because it's hard to get up. One could be that they may not want strippers at the proposal because it's a Christian-based business venue or something. I'm just thinking of something, child. I don't even know. But you could imagine what a restriction would be from a venue. And if you have any, I would love to hear them in the comments. Unrealistic expectations. When I think of that, I think of they want a tiger jumping through the fire and they want, you know, a whale coming out the water as he's saying, "Will you marry me?" Some stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, that's unrealistic. We can't how do we know what time the whale gonna come up? I'm just saying. Last minute changes. Now, we have a contract. We've discussed dates and times. We have all of the details in place for this to happen at this certain time on this day. And here you come talking about, I want to change this. Now, this is your day. This is your day. If it's a small change, you know, a business person would definitely understand and probably more so accommodate you. But if it's something just out of the realm of what needs to be going on that day, then no. But I'm just saying to you, the problems that are faced or the challenges that arise when businesses are helping clients. And you see the proposals. I've showed you small videos of the proposals, and this looks amazing online. It looks great on an Instagram reel or a TikTok reel, but it's a lot that goes into a business such as this. You have logistics, deadlines, legalities, scheduling conflicts, customer, unsatisfied customer. Those are the things that we don't see behind the scenes unless they put it out there. But I just wanted to give you, the realization is that these things happen behind the scenes of any possible service business. So you ask yourself, can I start something like this? Absolutely. But let's start it on a smaller scale. And I came up with a few things to give you a couple of ideas to get your mind going about where to get started, how to get started. Choose one city or service area. Don't choose multiple cities. Don't choose multiple states. Research local competition. Know who is your competition so that you can possibly offer something different. Build florist, venue, and musician contacts as soon as possible. This is a great business for someone that loves to talk. But I'm not saying it's not a good business for somebody that doesn't, because this will get you out of your comfort zone. But start building those relationships as soon as you're ready to get up off the ground. Create 2 or 3 sample packages to start with. Don't have a whole menu of services, because you never know what can go wrong and what you're able to handle. So start with a service of, we'll create the proposal. You could have a service of, we can create a girls' night. We can create a date night. Something small. Perfect that and move gradually to something bigger. Stage sample proposals for your portfolio. Have something to show your client, whether it be in a book form or online. Give them some type of vision that they can go with, that they can see. Collect your deposits before spending money. Now, some of us who have already probably been in the event planning business may have things left over that we can use. May have, what is it, the discount supply store connections already. But collect your deposit money before you even spend a dime if you can. Use contracts and cancellation policies. Contracts keep you safe from any disagreements, incidentals, or miscommunicated it keeps you safe. It keeps you safe from anything that goes wrong that was written in the contract. So if the client comes to you and say, you gave me this, but I asked for this, you can refer back to page 7.A. Clearly states, this is blah, blah, blah. This is what you wanted. And this is what I'm giving you. Also, make sure your cancellation policy is not in small print. It needs to be in big print, and it needs to have a signature by that so that they understand your refund and cancellation policy. Because, you know, some people will do you in and be like, this was not in my contract, I want to cancel. And here you go, you spend all this money and they have canceled. So make sure your cancellation and contracts are in order before starting. Start with the simpler experiences. I'm thinking something like maybe a beach proposal, a hotel rooftop, a fancy restaurant, horse and carriage. The simple things first. Then we can expand to having letters and helicopters drawing out names in the sky and the man jumping out the helicopter. Oh, no. That was the episode Fresh Prince. Sorry. Wrong. Okay. Just start simple. Lastly, do not copy someone else's brand. Make it your own. Like, do not copy the Heart Bandits brand. You're creative. So you're able to create your own brand. You can use it as inspiration, but don't copy it. I know you can make up your own brand. Like I said before, this is a great business to start in your area if you know that there's nothing or it lacks creativity when it comes to a marriage proposal. And like I said, you don't have to start with the city skyline rooftop proposal. You can start with a picnic. You can start with a beach proposal. But if you just start small, you can actually get started. And this is something that you can definitely be successful in. The lesson here is that everybody who watches this video is not going to become a marriage proposal planner. Pay attention to the moments that people find overwhelming, stressful, where they feel like they have no outlet when it comes to solution. They're emotionally stressed. They're mentally stressed because they can't figure it out. If you can make the moment easier for them, more personable, and something that they don't even have to worry about, then you were successful at the goal. And you've made money and also made somebody very, very happy. And you've created a very memorable experience for your client. Remember that in the beginning, I told you that it was one underwhelming experience from a man not having the resources to create a beautiful proposal that became an idea that has now become a successful 7-figure business. So I ask you in the comments, what overlooked life experience have you encountered that could possibly turn into an idea that can turn into profit? Lastly, I like to close out. If this story has you thinking about what business can I create, I am releasing on September 15th the Business Builder's Playbook, the Stinson method. It breaks down 100 business ideas, including who each business serves, the services you can offer, estimated startup costs, earning potential, and the first steps needed to get started. That playbook will be available September 15th, and all the information will be in the description below. But if you would like to figure out in the meantime what business that you may be even interested in, I created the Business Picker Lane. It is broken down into 4 categories, and there are a series of questions that you would answer. And at the end, you put all of those answers together. Of course, it's numbered, and it will give you an idea of which lane your business or you should pick as a business to be in. If you like business ideas and unique ideas, remember to subscribe. Like this video, hype this video, and come back and see me. Bye-bye.